Hi everyone. So today I wanted to do a different kind of video. This is going to be a two-part video. The first one is going to be like a classic story time about some crazy things that happened to me last year, and the second video is going to be more of like a logistic video of just, I'll be answering some questions about, how to apply for unemployment, when do I qualify for it, and just some of the things that I had a really hard time finding when I was put into the situation last year. So this is the first part of the video, and so I'm basically just going to give you some information as to how I got into the situation where I needed to apply for this. Okay, so let's begin. So to begin, I'm not going to be using real names just to protect me and the people in this story, but the events are true. Okay, so I'm going to begin at the beginning. So I got this job at an accounting firm a couple of years ago. And it was honestly such a blessing because it came at the perfect time. My boss was this like very gentle, kind, like Cancer of a man. We're going to call him Tyler. Very kind, very sweet, lovely to work with, okay? And I worked with him for about a year and a half. And I was working as an accounting manager at this accounting firm. And I was working with some other people there, and I got along with most of them. I got along with everyone, but there were certain people I wasn't like a huge fan of because I didn't like their personality, and that will come in later because I was dead on with those people. Okay, so things are going well. Things are going really well. And then about a year and a half into my employment there, Tyler is basically recruited to be the CFO of a very large company in California. And I can't tell you what the company is, but they were recently acquired by Neiman Marcus, and it was big time. Basically, they made him an offer that he couldn't refuse. And at that time, he was working as the CFO at this accounting firm. People would come and like buy accounting services and ask for his consulting skills, blah, blah. So he goes off, and the thing is, us accountants, we were very self-sufficient. We really didn't need anyone to babysit us. We had our own portfolio of clients, and we were great, okay? Tyler does not, I don't know, I think he felt like there just had to be someone in control at the company, so he puts his wife, Jill, in charge. Now, Jill is a very boisterous British woman. We had met her a few times, like, at company parties. I actually was really like excited just because I was like, oh, she's so fun. Like, how could this go wrong? Okay, so what we're calling her Jill. Jill comes in, and what I did not know about Jill does not have any financial experience, no accounting experience. She used to work for a company that made software for accountants, but she never used the software herself. She doesn't know how accounting works. And she's actually been working as just like a housewife for the last several years. Okay, so she's out of practice, okay? She comes in and immediately she is so micromanaging. Like really, like it is a very different atmosphere coming to work. I mean, with Tyler it was a very gentle, calm environment. Jill comes in, no longer, okay? Now they had hired a young man, we're going to call him Dylan, who is still going to UCSD for marketing at the time. So he was still in university. They hired him on. And there were some crazy things. Like, Dylan kind of, like, subtly mentioned that it was hard to work with Jill, but we had not really realized this. The micromanaging stuff came after Dylan was gone, okay? So Jill had mentioned before that she thought Dylan was so handsome, and that she made a joke how she was only going to be hiring handsome men for the company from here on out. And I didn't really think much of it. I just thought it was a joke, not a big deal. There was also other times where she was just like kind of inappropriate, but it was like with a jokey spin. So we're like, okay. Like there's this one time where she like grabbed her boobs in the middle of a meeting and was like, oh my god, it's so hot. Tomorrow I'm going to come to work in a bikini. Like, again, like, no one's hurt by this comment, but it's like, okay, girl, like, slow your roll, like, you're fine. And then she just starts getting really greedy, okay? Now, mind you, her husband is making a ton of money at his new job. This other company, he really doesn't even need to have it. Now you could say, oh, well, he's giving people jobs. Awesome. Cool. Yeah. But at the same time, in that case, then why are you trying to cut corners? Why? I don't know. But she was just trying to, I think, prove something, and she didn't need to. The company was doing fine. So she starts us off slow, okay? Like, there were certain, like, nice things that, the company provided that she started to slowly take away. Like, no more free coffee in the office. Okay, not a big deal. Not fun, but okay. Another thing to keep in mind, you might not know this, but accountants are only second to lawyers when it comes to burnout rate, okay? It is a very, very, it's a hard job. It will burn you out very easily. It requires a lot of mental concentration. So keep that in mind. Like, it's important for these companies that require, like, service people. Like, if they're not selling inventory, they're selling services from people. It's very important to keep their employees happy, okay? The next thing that happened is, and this is my theory, like, I feel like because Tyler was no longer on the insurance plan of the company because he went to this other company, they felt like they didn't need the healthcare plan anymore. So the healthcare plan that was provided for all full-time employees, all of a sudden, no longer allowed, okay? And now one of my coworkers, we're going to call her Karen. I never liked Karen. Karen was always a mean person. I was always kind to her, and I think I won her over at a certain point, but I never liked her personality, okay? Now, she had just had a baby, and this affected her a lot. And so you'd think she'd have more integrity when it came to, like, standing up to these people, but no. And that'll come later. Okay, there was another person at this company. We're going to call her Erin, okay? Erin was a very good accountant, but I have a hypothesis on this, okay? I have a theory, okay? Sorry, I said the name. Erin was a Gemini, and the rest of the company were all water signs, okay? So me and some of my other coworkers, like, I just feel like we could just kind of go with the flow a little more. As a Gemini, I just feel like she was more like, I have to say my piece, okay? And she did. She really did. And honestly, like, she wasn't rude. She would just, like, call Jill out on her bull. And Jill could not handle this. And so basically she fires her. And the thing is, they had a whole meeting about it, and they're like, it's nothing personal, we just didn't have enough work for her. And then, like, immediately they started looking for another accountant right after this happened. So it was complete, like, nonsense. And the thing is, we all knew it was a personal issue that Jill had with Erin, okay? So, no. Anyway, next thing, this is something I noticed. You know how Jill had mentioned with, like, Dylan, how she was only going to be hiring on attractive men from now on? She starts the hiring process, and she's only interviewing men, which is very interesting. Very interesting, okay? And then things get even worse, okay? So we were at an accounting firm. We were, like, right on the ocean, great location, but very expensive rent. And so we actually shared the suite with another company who did, like, financial stuff, okay? And the manager of this company, we're going to call him Jared, okay? So Jared is a Mormon, and I guess Jill and Jared were having a conversation one day, like, around the kitchenette, and I think Jared was like, oh, I have to take this call, so I'm just going to step over here. And she's like, and basically Jill says something sassy, like, okay, and then, like, hits him on the butt, okay? Now, I know that the gender roles are reversed here than what we're usually, like, used to hearing about, like, sexual assault, but this is still sexual assault, okay? So Jared goes into, like, his office, and, like, his manager's there, and he's like, Jill just hit me in the butt. She's like, oh my God, really? And he's like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so things get a little bit worse. Jill and the other company do not get along at all. And so the other company leaves, okay? And so the company all of a sudden is a little bit more strapped for cash because they have to get someone in there to, pay rent. They do in, like, a very short amount of time. But Tyler and Jill are pissed. They are pissed. So they decide that they're going to sue Jared because he went back on his lease. And there wasn't even any documentation of this lease. It was all verbal, okay, but they want to take him, they want to sue him, okay? They want to sue him. And apparently, during this time, we had a team meeting, and Jill was complaining about the situation to us. And in this meeting, she admits to hitting Jared on the butt, okay? She admits that she did it, okay? And the counter case from when they were trying to sue Jared was that he had to make a case, basically, that he had a reason to leave. And sexual assault is a very good reason, okay? Anyway, yes. Okay, so I am done working at this place. I'm done. I hate how I'm being treated. I hate how everyone's being treated. The environment sucks, okay? But I care about Tyler. He was a very good boss to me for a year and a half. I don't want to just leave him in the lurch because I know that the people who come in to take my position, it will take a long time to train them. It's not an easy job to have, full cycle accounting. Most accountants, they specialize in one area. This, you have to be able to do it all, okay? It was quite a transition when I came on. Every single person who came on while I was there, it's a transition. It really is, okay? So I knew whoever was going to come next, I wanted to train them fully. I wanted to give that to them. So I said, my resignation date is going to be December 31st, okay? And I did this in person with Jill, and she was like, oh, okay, that's no problem, okay? Now, my coworker, who I love, her name is Brittany. Well, we're calling her Brittany. She is fed up too, okay? So she finds a new job and then gives them a 13-day notice, okay? 1 day short of 2 weeks. And Tyler and Jill are pissed. They're like, she didn't even give us 2 weeks notice. I'm like, dude, the way you are treating her, like, I'm surprised she gave you 13. She didn't even have to do that, okay? So she's out of there. And at the same time, that person I had mentioned, Karen, who has no integrity or anything, she's upset too. And with good reason. We're all upset. We all hate working here. And she claims that she is going to be giving her notice as soon as me and Brittany are out of there, because, you know, she wants to give them a little bit of time. To this day, okay, she is still working for that company. She has no backbone. Okay. So it comes to November. Again, my resignation date is for December 31st. It comes to November. And I am told by Jill that they are going to be letting me go on December 6th. Okay, now this is 3 weeks before I was financially prepared to be let go. Okay? And so it would make sense then, because they are letting me go, that I would be able to apply for unemployment for this time. Okay? Now this is reasonable to me, but I was like, I hadn't done any of like the legality of it yet. Okay? So I talked to Karen about it, and I say, they just said they were going to let me go on December 6th. And I'm like, I might have to apply for unemployment. Oh, that's kind of scary. And so she was like, she's like, I've had to do that before too. Basically, you just need a piece of paper that says, yeah, we let you go. I'm like, okay, great. So that day, I send Jill an email saying, hi, for December 6th, will you have all of my termination documentation ready for me? And the thing is, legally, they are supposed to give you this documentation if they are letting you go. Legally, that's what they have to do, okay? So I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I start training the new person. We're going to call him Brendan. I'm training the new person. I really like him. He's a dad type. He's great. But he's a little slow on the learning, okay? Like, he's never used the software we've used before. He's a smart guy, but he's never done this, okay? So I have a little bit more to teach him, okay? And it's the day before I'm supposed to be let go. And I tell Karen, I'm like, Karen, would you please email Jill and just make sure all the documentation will be ready for me tomorrow? And I'm like, she's like, no problem, okay? So she gets back to me a few hours later. She's like, Jill is saying they're not going to do that. They're not going to say that you quit. They're not going to say that you were terminated. They're going to say that you quit, so you can't get unemployment. And the reason they want to do this, okay, is only because their unemployment insurance would have to go up a little bit, because not only did they let Aaron go a few months prior, but they would be letting me go as well, and they don't want that to happen. They're cheap. Okay, they don't care what happens to me. So I'm like, unbelievable. So I tactfully but firmly start emailing them, and I say, no, that's not how this works. And they're pissed. They're pissed at me. I was respectful the entire time. The entire time. I can stand by every single thing I wrote during this time. And meanwhile, I'm sending myself, like, I'm basically copying myself, my personal email, on these emails because I'm trying to protect myself. Like, I use a work email while I'm there, so all of our back and forth, like, I would have no access to once I'm gone, okay? And I'm realizing, oh, I might need this stuff. I might need this information. I'm so glad I did that. Okay, so I have another day of training with Brendan. And the thing is, even this, like, I would have loved to have given him an entire month of training. I was down to 2 weeks, okay? Good luck. Good luck. Not his fault. It's just all they gave me, okay? So I get to work, and I have a client call, like a consulting call that day. We have it scheduled once a month. Also, I have more training with Brendan. I walk into the lobby. Now, mind you, Tyler has taken another job in Los Angeles. He chose to not go into work to be able to take care of this for Jill because she talks a lot of crap, but she claims that she has anxiety and she can't like basically walk the talk. Now, anxiety is a completely legitimate issue, but it's just like, it's so annoying to me. It's like, you can talk all this ish, but you can't actually like stand up for yourself. It's when you need to, when people call you out, it's stupid, so stupid. Okay, so I come in and Tyler's in the lobby, which is like, that's strange, okay? My hands are full. I have my smoothie, my lunch, all that stuff, okay? So I don't even notice that he has my entire desk, like all the stuff that was in it next to him. So he's like, oh, hi, Kelly. I'm like, oh, hi, Tyler. Going to my desk because I have a client call. He's like, oh, no, you don't have to go over there. I have all your stuff right here. I'm like, okay. I have a client call, and he's like, don't even worry about that. It's like, here's your final check, like basically be gone. And I'm like, what the heck? Okay, like what else can I do? And it's like, my hands are full, okay? So he's trying to like give me this box. I spill my smoothie on my entire jacket. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to take more than one trip here. So I take the first thing down, drop it off at my car. I come back up, and I can tell Tyler does not want me to be in the office. I don't know why. I don't know if he just wants me to like not be able to get to my computer and get any kind of documentation from the computer. I don't know. But he's coming back with the box. And I say, actually, I'd like to get my mug and my coffee from the fridge. And he's carrying the box to me. And so he like does this move to like turn around, and he's like, oh, I'm not getting it for you. Okay, that's fine. I'll get it myself. Like I didn't say anything, but just bring it to me. Okay. So I get all my stuff. I go to my car, and I'm like, what just happened? Okay. I have no documentation that I was let go. I have some emails. I have the email where they confirmed that, you know, I would get the documentation, the termination documentation. There's emails where it says that my resignation date was December 31st. That's all I have. And so I decide, I'm like, I think I have enough to be able to apply for unemployment. I think I can make a case to do that, okay? And so I go home and I apply that evening. And then some other crazy stuff happens, okay? So that's part one of the story. Feel free to tune in a little while, a couple of days. I'll post the second part, which tells you what happened next with the legal stuff and why I had to bring Tyler and Jill to court. All right, thanks guys. See you soon.